From KUER News in Salt Lake City, this is Radio West. I'm Jennifer Napier-Pierce. By the numbers, the green building trend is booming. This year alone, the U.S. Green Building Council estimates $12 billion will be spent on green building products and services. 801-585-WEST is the number to call if you'd like to join our conversation, 801-585-9378, or send email to radiowest@kuer.org. Thomas is calling us from Los Angeles. Thomas, you're on.
Yes, hi, how are you? This is a great show. I love your program, big listener, and I'm just really happy to see that you're covering this topic of basically green development, how people can make their houses more green, more environmentally responsible. And I'm actually a contractor in the business, and listening to your show, I couldn't help thinking, sitting here in my room, I've got the lights on, I've got the toaster on, my wife is in the other room, she's got the microwave on. There's a lot, no matter how much we green our house, no matter how much styrofoam or whatever we put in the windows, or the fact of the matter is that we're using energy all the time. And what I was thinking was ultimately is that you just got to tell people, hey, if you're going to build a house, that's fine, but just try not to use so many things. And that's what my company is doing, is saying things like, we think maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you shouldn't use that waffle iron, or maybe you shouldn't use your hair dryer. Maybe you should dry your hair outside. What's wrong with that? Why does everyone hate drying their hair outside? And I love drying my hair outside, and it just sometimes it just upsets me. I get overwhelmed. It can be really upsetting.
So, Thomas, when you talk about living green, it's more than just, you said that you're in the industry.
No, I own a hair salon. I'm in the industry in terms of it affects everybody. It affects my industry. I'm sure it affects yours. If you're in let's say the shoe business, you got to, it's going to. I don't know. I can't think about how that would affect your business, but I'm sure in some way it would affect it. You know what I'm saying?
Thomas, thanks very much for the call. Joining us now is Michael Dietz. Let's go back to the phones. 801-585-WEST, 801-585-93. Speaking of multifamily units, Daniel from Salt Lake City is joining us on the program. Daniel, you've got a question about apartments.
Yes, I'm not a homeowner. I'm in a situation right now which has become quite unpleasant. I have a landlord. I've asked him to go green. He is, for lack of a better word, he's a not nice person. And he basically said, he said things like, well, if you want to go green, then I'm just going to turn the electricity off. And that's exactly what he did.
Oh,
and
nice.
I don't even know if that's necessarily legal. And I also think that even though in some ways it's true, maybe that it has saved the money or saved, the amount of my carbon footprint is maybe getting a little bit smaller, it's still very upsetting. And then now he says he wants to seal up all the windows because then that would keep the light coming in. And I think one of your guests or something owns a hair salon, and he does as well. And I imagine over there it's one of these things where he's probably using so much energy there. And I just don't know what kind of recourse I have.
Daniel, thanks very much for the call. Michael Dietz, do you have any advice for when your environment is not totally under control?
Well, I think the caller brings up a good point about apartment living versus